Hi, I'm Coach Pat Sullivan, the retired coach from the University of St. Francis and Providence High School. I spent 10 wonderful years at Providence and 34 great years at the University of St. Francis, where I couldn't have been more fortunate to work with some of the best young men that I've ever met in my life. I'd like to share two thoughts with you on the connection between sport and Catholicism. And we recently had a document that came out of the Vatican, and it was not only endorsed but praised by Pope Francis. And the title of the document is Giving the Best of Yourself. The subtitle is on the Christian perspective of sport and the human person. And when I think of that, I think of the greatest basketball player whom I've ever seen play, Michael Jordan. And I probably watched Jordan in 40 playoff games in addition to watching him practice. What Michael did was exactly the title of this document. He gave his best every night. And in fact, in his book, Rare Air, he says when he played on the original Dream Team, that he knew come crunch time in a ball game, he'd be better than some of the other fellows on that team, simply because they did not give their best each night. And then the legendary coach John Wooden, I thought, had a great definition of success in his pyramid of success, where he said success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing that you did the best that you're capable of becoming. I think there's a great Christian lesson in that in athletics. And it's in regard to the youngsters who don't play a lot, who come off the bench. And I think it's incumbent upon teammates that in no way do you ever belittle, make fun of, or bully those who don't get much of a chance to play, because they are doing exactly what Coach Wooden said. They're giving their best every night. Second thought I'd like to share with you comes from Mark 10, verses 35 to 45. And that's where Mark says, the Son of God came not to be served, but to serve. And I thought we had a great example of service in athletics in the recent NCAA tournament with Loyola University's basketball team and Sister Jean. We have an expression in basketball that says the next pass. And that means I'm open, but you're more open, so I make the next pass. That's exactly what Loyola did. Each team member served the other. And that's why in the 6 games they played, they had a different leading scorer in each game. A great example of service. We had an example of service at the University of St. Francis from Greg Popovich. Many consider Coach Popovich to be the best coach in the NBA. And I've always believed that serving is caring. So when the Nike clinics would come to Chicago, our players would demonstrate for the coaches. One particular clinic, we demonstrated for 2 days for only NBA coaches. The last coach to speak was Coach Popovich. Our center from Lithuania, Arvydas Astrauskas, in demonstrating for Coach, turned his ankle badly. Now 2 weeks after the clinic, and I want you to know, I knew some of the other NBA coaches because I'd worked with them. I never knew Greg Popovich. So I get a call out of the clear blue, and Coach Popovich asks, who was the young man who got injured, and can you give me his telephone number? Because he wanted to call him to see how he was doing. Then he invited our entire team to the Bulls game when they came into Chicago to play the Bulls. And after the game, he shook hands with each of our players. He did that because he cared and he wanted to serve, and we didn't know him at all. So I think those two concepts, giving the best of yourself and serving others, truly connect sport and Catholicism.